Do you believe in miracles? What's up, everybody? You are watching the J Red Show on YouTube and TikTok. And Team USA wins the gold medal, defeating Team Canada 2-1 on a Jack Hughes goal in overtime. Now, obviously, this is not Miracle on Ice 2. This is not a bunch of college kids against the best team in the world. This is two of the best teams in the world going head-to-head. However, watching the game, it did feel like the Miracle on Ice game. Just like that famous game 46 years ago, like how the Soviets dominated the U.S., the Canadians dominated the U.S. in shots, in time of possession, 42-28 in shots. And just like that game 46 years ago, where Jim Craig just played out of his mind and pretty much stole the game for the USA. On Sunday, Connor Hellebuyck pretty much stole the game for the USA. Canada just could not get the puck past him. There was a glorious chance by Jonathan Toews, but Hellebuyck somehow put his stick behind him and just managed to make the save. I guess the only miracle is that no pucks managed to bounce in the net, but what a game by Hellebuyck. The defense was overall great. Canada was unable to score on a power play, including a near 2-minute 5-on-3. The U.S. was able to score on a 5-on-3. And then Matt Boldy got the first goal. Cale Makar tied for Canada. And Jack Hughes with the golden goal in overtime. Of course, it's a little bit controversial as it is 3-on-3. I mean, I'm torn on this. On one hand, I do not like it. I would just love for for the biggest hockey game of the year, for Canada's Super Bowl, I would love for them to go 5-on-5 and just keep going until a goal is scored. But they really need to shorten the game and not have a really, really long game just so the closing ceremony is in on time. So, they really need to, in 4 years from now, just have the game on a Saturday. I mean, I know this is Canada's biggest game of the year, so I understand having it on the last day. But it should be on a Saturday, just 5-on-5, it's just. I mean, I know the Olympics never had it. Like, back in the Miracle on Ice days, they had a round robin, and then they had a shootout. And I realized there's no perfect solution. And I know that the FIFA World Cup has their tiebreakers and with a shootout, along with all the major soccer tournaments like the Champions League, the FA Cup, etc. And of course, the Premier League's no playoffs. But in my opinion, it should be on 5-on-5 tournament on Saturdays. Just a 5, and then overtime should be 5-on-5 on a Saturday. And coming up in 4 years. And I have very mixed feelings about the pros and about pausing the NHL season. Maybe it's because I'm enjoying this Sabres season, but I really wish they wouldn't pause it. I really wish they would I kind of wish they would bring amateurs back into the Olympics and then have like a World Cup of Hockey in September, just without pausing the season. Again, maybe I'm just bitter. It's because I'm bitter because I missed the Sabres, even though I did enjoy when the U.S. won the gold medal. And it's not going to happen. I know, nothing's going to change. I know this is Canada's Super Bowl. It's pretty big here in the U.S. as well. It's pretty big around the world. And that's why it's going to stay. And then 2 years from now, there's going to be another World Cup that'll interrupt the hockey season. Which is my opinion, and I guess I can And when it comes to why Canada lost, I can understand why Canadian fans feel gypped. They just dominated the U.S., and then we go to a silly format, and they allow a fluky goal. Well, it's kind of how we felt as a Bills fan. On one hand, you say, yeah, we got screwed, but you can't blame the format. The Canadians had plenty of opportunities to put the U.S. away, and they just could not get the puck past Hellebuyck. So, what are your thoughts on the gold medal game? Hit me up on Twitter at JRedShow. And now we go back to the Buffalo Sabres, who will go on the road on Wednesday, and they'll take on the hero of the gold medal game, Jack Hughes and the New Jersey Devils, as they try to make the playoffs for the first time in 15 years. Right now, there's a lot of question marks, like, will Tage Thompson be back in time? I mean, Tage Thompson wants to soak in the win of the U.S. winning the gold medal, but the Olympics, but the NHL schedule does not allow it. If he doesn't celebrate, he has to be back with the Sabres by Wednesday. And the State of the Union address by President Trump is on Wednesday, the same day as the Sabres game. So can Thompson get back to Buffalo in time for the game, back to East Rutherford, New Jersey, for the game against the Devils? And they can't afford to lose Thompson because they have a tough schedule coming up. New Jersey's one of the weaker teams they have to face. But the Sabres just need to catch fire and regain that momentum that they had in the 2 months prior to the Olympics. And they cannot afford to miss their best player. All right, there's one more thing I want to talk about. What are your thoughts here on Twitter at Jared Show? And there's one more thing I want to talk about the Olympics. Connor McDavid. McDavid won the MVP. I know you could argue that it should have went to Hellebuyck because he pretty much stole the game for the U.S. in the gold medal. He broke the Olympic record with 13 points, 2 goals, and 11 assists. And, of course, with poor Connor McDavid, he is getting a lot of comparisons to Josh Allen. They are the best players in the respective hockey and football worlds. Yet, they just cannot win a championship. I guess unless you count the Four Nations tournament last year. But I don't know. But poor McDavid has been unable to win the Stanley Cup, and now has to wait 4 more years to bring home a Olympic gold medal to Canada. I mean, Sidney Crosby's missing. That's really a bummer for him. I mean, he's been waiting nearly 12. Imagine waiting 12. He scores the biggest goal the golden goal for Canada in 2010. And then he waits, after 4 years, he goes to the 2014 tournament. Then he waits 12 years, and he gets injured just before the tournament. So, I mean, the U.S. should celebrate. Hopefully, Tage Thompson will be back by the time, and the Sabres will gear up for a playoff run. So, folks, what are your thoughts? Hit me on Twitter at JRedShow. I'll be doing a movies and podcast TV shows podcast next week. Talking about Scream 7, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, and the newest episode of Marshals. So, what are your thoughts? Hit me up on Twitter at JRedShow, and I will see you later.